everyone, welcome back to WsCube. In our today's session, we will be talking about the getters and setters in Python. Before that, in our previous session, we learned what is encapsulation. So if we want to keep any data private in our Python, then we use the method of encapsulation in OOPS. Today we will be learning about the getter and the setter method. So guys, the terms getter and the setter sounds a little weird to you, but that terms we will not be using in Python. The getter and the setter methods, people generally call it the getter and the setter method, but the terms that is basically used inside the Python is the get method and set method. The setter is the set method and getter is the get method. We will be discussing about them. First of all, let's understand what are these getters and setters. So getters and setters are used with the encapsulation when you want to access any private data or any private variable or any private method. In that case, getters and setters are used. If you want to access a data, then you use a get option, get method, and if you want to set or if you want to modify a data, in that case you will use a set method. So set method is used to set or modify a value and get method is used to fetch that value. So we will be using the getter and the setter method over here in Python. Let's see with the help of an example.
Before that, if you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn from our experts live, then you can call on the given number or you can fill the form that is provided in our description. Not just that, with our every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free.
So to understand getter and the setter method, what I'll be doing, I'll be creating a class over here, a class of a company. Inside it, I will be creating some functions, some methods. So I'll be writing definition. Our first method would be for employee and I'll be passing the self parameter over here. So because I will be setting the value for this employee, so what I'll call it as set employee, and here I will also pass another parameter for it that I want to set its name over here. So I'll be writing name over here. Okay. So next thing that what I'm going to do is I'll be creating a variable over here that is self dot. It's a private variable, that's why I'll be creating it with the 2 underscores. Self dot name is equals to name, the value, whatever the value that we will be passing to this name will be set to this private variable self dot name. Similarly, I will get this name as well. So for that I'll be creating another method over here that get employee. Inside, I don't need to pass the another variable because I just want to fetch the values. There I want to set the value for the name. That's why I needed another variable. But here I just want to fetch the values. So to fetch the values, we will be using a return statement. What it will be returning? It will be returning us with self dot name. Right. Let's say similarly, I'm creating another case where I will be setting the employee ID. So what I will be doing, I'll create another method over here, set emp ID. And here I'll be using my self parameter plus I will be using ID. So ID would be my another parameter over here. Okay. And I'll be creating a private variable that is self dot ID is equals to this ID parameter that we have provided. Similarly, we will be using the get method also over here. So definition get, this should be set over here, and get emp id, and here just self parameter is required. So I'll be just using self and we will be returning the value. So return self dot underscore our id, right? So what I have done, I have basically created one employee class. Inside I have created 4 methods, 2 methods to set the values for the name and the id, and 2 methods to fetch these values. That means the get method. Next, I'll be creating another method over here that will pass me with these values over here. So what I'll be writing definition and details. Because I'm taking the details of the employee, and here all I need is a self parameter with me. Inside it, I will print the name, and name would be my self dot name, that is our private variable. I'll put a comma in between. Similarly, I'll print for the employee ID as well. So ID, or we can write emp ID, that would be our self dot private ID, right? After this, I'll be creating an object over here. So let's create an object. Employee1 is equals to company. So I'm declaring over here that there is an object employee1 which belongs to the classes of company. After this, I will be calling our methods over here by also assigning the values to them. So what I will be doing, I'll be writing employee1 dot set employee name. So we will be setting the employee name to, let's say, John. Similarly, emp1 dot set employee ID. So I'm gonna set this employee ID to, let's say, 1 2 3 4 5, right? After this, after I have provided, after I have set it the values of name and ID over here, all I need to do is call this details method over here, because for now if we run it, nothing will appear to us. What we need to do, we need to, because the print statement lies inside this method, details method, we need to call it. So we will be writing employee1 dot details, and as soon as I run it, you will see it gives me name John and employee ID 1 2 3 4 5. Even though those were private variables, but because of our getter and the setter method, we have set the values to it, and then we have patched the values as well by using the setter and the getter method. Also, you can use our getter method over here inside the details as well, where you can just write self dot get employee in the first one, and similarly self dot get employee ID over here in this one. So if I run it, I will still get the same output that I was getting before. So this is how, guys, our setter and the getter method works over here in encapsulation. So I hope, guys, what is the setter method and what is the getter method is clear to you now. In our next session, we will be discussing about polymorphism in Python. So stay connected, guys, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.